Let's start off with security matters, where bandits reportedly launched a deadly attack on a girls' secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State on Monday, abducting 25 students and killing the school's vice principal. The gunmen stormed Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School on Sunday night, shooting Vice Principal Hassan Makuku as he tried to protect his students. Witnesses say the attackers met no resistance and caused widespread panic across the community. Kebbi State Police confirmed the abductions, while the governor's deputy, Umar Tafida, has been sent to assess the situation as authorities race to gather accurate details. Concerned parents and residents are anxiously waiting update as security agencies begin efforts to locate and rescue the abducted schoolgirls. News Central's Jamil Mabai will be joining us for updates on this as soon as we have him. But still talking about insecurity, let's go now to Benue State, where 2 people have been killed in an ambush by suspected herdsmen in Kwande local government area of the state. The victims, identified as Suvande Teva and Utio Lonege, were attacked on Saturday while returning from the Jato Ako market. The incident occurred at about 5 p.m. in Nzav community within the Yav Council ward of Turan. Local sources say several persons are still missing, as the attackers were said to have taken cover in the thick forest surrounding the area. News Central Sawese Anyo joins us on the news to give more details on this. Sawese, it's a very tragic situation, and yet again we're talking about insecurity in Benue State that has been a recurring issue on the news. What update do you have for us regarding this latest development?
Thank you very much. So far, sadly, we've not gotten any report or rather statement officially from the security agency in Benue State regarding the tragic incident that happened on Saturday in Jatoaka, where the traders were returning from the market, and unfortunately, the suspected headers rather, laid in wait in one of the thick bushes around that location. And while they were moving, unsuspecting, they launched attacks on them. Unfortunately, two persons have been so far confirmed killed. Many others have been missing. And at this time, from what our source has told us, they have launched a search for the missing persons. But so far, none have been seen yet. And no bodies have been recovered aside the 2 that have already been confirmed killed. And away from that, there has been a lot of tension in that location as we speak. Many residents are fleeing that community, leaving their farmlands and their homes behind. And this is something that has become so recurrent. And every single time they have to run away and leave their farmlands behind, leave their homes behind to forge ahead where there is no home, where there is no food and no water to drink. So it's a tragic situation happening in Jatoaka and Kwande local government in Benue State here. And from what we've gathered, it's been happening for a while now, and there has been no interventions. So residents have been calling for security to be deployed to that location because these attacks are one too many. So that is it for now. Blessings. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay, before we let you go, Sawese, this is it's a very sad situation, and one would expect that the authorities would have given an update on this by now. So has there been any update on the search for those who are still missing, or steps that are being taken to secure the release?
Well, so far there has been no updates. There have been no information regarding the attack. What we know is that the headers ran back, the suspected headers ran back into the thick bushes where they have taken refuge so far these days. We've heard that they often hide in these bushes and then lay in wait for persons who are passing. And that security have been intimated about this development. But so far, nothing has been done from what the sources have told us. So as it is, it's just the local vigilantes and some good members of the communities that have taken it upon themselves to launch a search for the possible, the missing persons, and then also try to find a way around securing the communities until they hear officially from the security agencies in Benue State. At the moment, nothing is happening. People are just fending for themselves, trying to find a safe place to lay their heads for now until something is officially done about the situation.
All right, so Ese, thank you for the update on that, and we're looking forward to a proper response from the authority regarding securing the release of those who have been kidnapped. Meanwhile, barely a week after News Central Television reported on the attacks of some communities in Kano State by suspected bandits from neighboring Katsina State, the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, has visited the affected communities. The Emir warned the communities in Katsina State to shun providing a safe haven for the bandits as part of their peace deal. The Emir also visited affected communities in Shanono and Sanyawa local government areas bordering Katsina State, where he got a first-hand information of the attacks on their communities.
Killing innocent people and kidnapping men and women. It is our responsibility as leaders to come and see our people, to commiserate with them and sympathize with them. And I came to reassure them that the state government is doing everything that it can, along with the security services. The governor has bought vehicles, the governor has provided resources. They can see already the movement of the army and the police in this area. And we'll also encourage them to use their vigilantes to help protect their villages. And we urge the people of Katsina, when they make peace with bandits, to ensure that that peace does not include the right to attack neighboring communities and have a safe haven. We pray to Allah to bring peace to our lands, and we will continue our best working with the government to ensure that peace is maintained in the state.
Now, News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu joins us for more updates on this. Emmanuel, now, when communities are faced with these kind of attacks, it's only normal that tension will rise. Has the Emir's visit succeeded in dousing the tension?
That actually is just a responsibility the royal father is doing, talking about exercising his role as a royal father in conflict resolution. We have always talked about the role of traditional rulers and religious leaders in resolving conflict and ensuring peace. That's just what the Emir did. And of course, he's the second public person to come to that community after the GOC, Sadiq Wase, visited that area. And of course, he has confirmed the allegations from the people themselves, which News Central earlier reported that the people of Shanono and Ayawa are alleging that those bandits who have secured peace deal from Katsina, neighboring them, are the ones coming in to harass them. The Emir has made it clear that this is not right. And of course, he has committed with them and make them, to calm down. And for now, I would say that they're a bit consoled, and that peace may actually return to that area any moment from now. Yeah.
Emmanuel, you were the first reporter that revealed the allegations of bandits allegedly using the Katsina communities as pathways to attack Kano communities following the peace deal. Did the Emir confirm that allegations or confirm these allegations during this visit, and what was his reaction to the allegations?
Yes, actually, of course, the Emir's speech, of course, we heard that from the Emir. He has confirmed that, and we are reporting it as an allegation that the peace deal that was done in Musawa and Tanyawa, in Musawa and then close to Tanyawa local government, and of course, Shanono, the peace deal that happened in Katsina is what is affecting the Kano state. That was what the community said. We are not sure. We have not seen any authority from the Katsina state government coming out to deny that. But the community members are very clear that part of the agreement that the people of Katsina did, the neighboring Katsina did, is to keep the bandits safe and give them, a pathway to come into Kano and attack. That is just an allegation. But Emir yesterday confirmed that, and send warning to them to desist from doing that. So it's now up to the government of Katsina State and that of Katsina, of course, a bigger authority has appeared to actually confirm the allegation that I'm talking about the Emir solution. So it's behaves on the Katsina State government to act right now, because even the former governor of Kano State, when he went to a private university here in Kano to do a speech, he also raised the allegation that there is no way a peace deal will be done in Katsina and then the people in Kano will suffer. So we have two people reacting to the allegation, the Emir of Kano and then the former governor of Kano State, Rabi Musa Tonkoso. So these allegations have now got the front banner. Of course, all times the report by News Central. It's now beholds on the authorities concerned to react I'm going to this Musa local government, going to this neighboring Kakura, and then Kano local government, and official these bandits, to avoid any further destruction. But for now, of course, soldiers have been deployed, but it's not all about soldiers. The communities which the bandits have been alleged to be living in, of course, they will continue to speak. We will continue to amplify, and it's left for government to decide whether they're going into speak these bandits out wherever they are being kept. Yeah.
Emmanuel Bagudu, thank you so much. He's reporting on the attacks on Kano State, where Kano residents have alleged that Katsina State is shielding these attackers. The News Centrals will keep you abreast of that situation. Still talking security concerns, the United States House of Representatives Subcommittee on Africa will hold an open hearing on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, to examine President Donald Trump's recent redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now, if upheld, the move allows Washington to penalize officials linked to abuses. The hearing will be chaired by Representative Chris Smith at the Rayburn House Office Building. Now, key testimony will be delivered by senior diplomats and Nigerian Christian leaders. And in Plateau State, the ongoing fight against illicit arms and trafficking by troops of 3 Division and Operation Enduring Peace in the state has resulted in the arrest of 1 suspected gun runner in the state. Speaking during a press briefing at the headquarters of Operation Enduring Peace, Major Samson Zakom, their media and information officer, says that the feat is proof of their unwavering commitment to the protection of lives and property within their joint operations area.
Troops of 3 Division Garrison and Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace have successfully apprehended a suspected gun runner in a targeted operation conducted on the 14th of November 2025 as part of ongoing efforts to curb illicit arms trafficking and enhance national security. Acting on credible intelligence, troops participating in the recently launched Operation Peace Shell intercepted the suspect named Ishaya Musa at Jebu-Basa bypass checkpoint in Basa local government area of Plateau State. A thorough search of the individual and accompanying property resulted in the recovery of 6 fabricated single barrel rifles, 2 fabricated revolver rifles, 1 den gun, 1 expended cartridge, and other sundry items. The suspect and recovered items are in custody for further action.
Well, you're still live with us on the news. We go on a short break now, and when we come back, Wike-backed PDP faction summons emergency BOT NEC meetings. The details after the break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Let's go back now to Abuja, where stakeholders from across the continent are meeting for a landmark discussion on road safety and support for crash victims. It's the International Road Crash Victims Africa Conference 2025, the first forum on the continent dedicated to amplifying the voices of survivors and pushing forward the Vision Zero agenda. News Central's Joshua Imurai is standing by live at the venue. Joshua Imurai, now organizers have said that this conference is critical. What are they highlighting? We see that it's a conference for the victims of road crash. What are the important messages that they're highlighting from all of this?
That's really interesting. I think the international victims Africa, it is about being some sort of stakeholders in West Africa, particularly on issue of this topic. And one of the reasons why stakeholders are gathered here today is because we demand to drive greater attention to issues of road crash, particularly among in African nations. And we, of course, the signal that there is a dangerous trend that is actually playing out in the African country. An increase in deaths over road crash incidents, particularly, and from one of the resources gathered so far from the conference, that is the data that the Federal Road Safety Corporation. In 2024, 9,517 crashes happened in Nigeria, and 3,421 deaths were recorded, with 31,154 injuries recorded. But here's the flip side. In Nigeria, for 2025, they are seeing a gradual increase of this incident, and this is as follows: 7,715 road crashes was recorded from January to September 2025, and it resulted to 3,950 deaths. That actually also resulted to 24,674 injuries. So these are the statistics, and it's actually showing a dangerous trend that we are experiencing more deaths, more injuries, particularly from road crashes. And we have seen that these entire road incidents could be avoided if some steps are being taken.
So looking ahead, what specific action plans are stakeholders proposing to reduce the crashes on the road and improve safety across the continent?
Stakeholders are saying that we need to focus more attention on where these incidents are happening and maybe consider some sort of deepening of funds in this area. Earlier on, the former co-marshal of the road safety, that is the person of Osita, gave a lecture. And in his lecture, he said that if the government can channel 1.3% or perhaps 3% of his budget on infrastructure, particularly to good saving measures and life-saving measures, this can limit the incident of road crashes. And they are also saying that if government can top 10 risk corridors, particularly on speed control, media separation, pedestrian protection, and the likes, that these incidents might be reduced. And also, they are saying that there should be some sort of a reform for commercial transport system, that they should enforce speed limiters, tire standards, and driver test rules. Of course, you know that one of the causes of road crashes is overspeeding, and overspeeding has been likened to cases of being drunk while driving. They are saying that these steps can come in handy for road traffic officers, that this will actually limit the incident of road crashes that are in turn resulting into deaths on our federal highways. Blessings.
All right, Joshua Murray, thank you so much for the update. We'll see how the conference goes from here. It's a conference on road safety in Nigeria to prevent more road crashes because the number has spiked over the years. Now, we're still talking security concerns, and remember that we mentioned that the United States House of Representatives Subcommittee on Africa will be holding an open hearing on Thursday, November 20, 2025, to examine President Donald Trump's recent designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now, joining us to discuss more on this is the retired Nigerian Army officer, Colonel Daniel Ibrahim. Thank you so much, Colonel, for joining us to discuss this. Now, let me start by asking what specific measures can be taken to curb the rise in violence by the extremist groups and by bandits targeting sites and communities? All right, we'll come back to Colonel Daniel when we're able to establish connections with him. But right now, let's talk politics. The faction of the People's Democratic Party, backed by FCT Minister Sheikh has announced emergency meetings of the party's Board of Trustees and National Executive Committee on Tuesday. The meetings will take place at the NEC Hall of the PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza in Abuja, with the BOT session set for 11 a.m. and the NEC meeting following at 2 p.m. The notice emphasized the importance of attendance, citing crucial party matters to be discussed. The move comes after the PDP expelled several high-profile members, including Wike, Samuel Ayawo, and former Ekiti Governor Ayo Fayose, at the party's 2025 National Convention in Ibadan over alleged anti-party activities. The expulsion highlights ongoing internal tensions within the PDP. And speaking of internal tensions within the PDP, the faction of the People's Democratic Party loyal to the FCT Minister Wike has rejected the expulsion of prominent party leaders. 4 state chapters have also opposed the outcome, seen as a challenge to Governor Seyi Makinde's control of the party. Over 3,000 delegates gathered despite conflicting court orders. On Friday, the Federal High Court in Abuja ordered the PDP to suspend its convention, citing former Jigawa Governor Sule Lamido's suit that he was unjustly denied the opportunity to contest for national chairman. The court also directed the party to make nomination forms available to Lamido and halt the convention until he can campaign, creating fresh uncertainty over the PDP leadership. And to discuss more on this, we're joined by a public affairs analyst, Alester Wilcox. Thank you so much, Alester, for joining us. Alistair, can you confirm you can hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me.
All right,
Thank you,
Alistair. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Now, how do you think that the expulsions of high-profile members like Wike, like Fayose, and Anyanwu will affect the PDP's unity and electoral prospects?
The PDP, the PDP is suffering from its own making. Let me say maybe from the time of its formation, the foundation of the PDP was not formidable to the point that as of today, there's this implosion in the party that is causing everybody within the party to claim relevance and to claim authority over the party. Now, that goes back, for me, whatever happened to the PDP goes back to the deep roots in the broken system that we have in Nigeria in terms of our humanity and who we are as a people. Nobody will understand how a party that ruled the state, the country, at some point the PDP has 30 state governors as in their fold, more than 2/3 of national assemblies, and controls every apparatus of Nigerian state. And that party do not have a foundation that just the mere fact that they're out of government for 8 years now makes them to become a shadow of itself. It's sad. That means that the human beings that we have in this country, the position we have in this country, are persons without value, persons without credibility, persons without conviction. There is no party philosophy, no party ideology. And that is why today you see that everybody is running to the APC. The same that happened in 2003 when everybody was running to the PDP. Now there is an implosion. So the underlying factor now is the fact that parties are not built on ideology. Parties are not, it's not just what is happening in the PDP, expulsion or no expulsion. Parties are not built on ideology. Parties are built on convenience of the people. And what the underlying factor there is the fact that if we grab power, we can grab resources and we can be wealthy. So parties are built, individuals join party based on what they can get out of the party, not for ideological conviction, not for what they can get out of the party. And this is, for me, a sad reality of what our society has become, a broken society. Men and women without value, without honor, and they are the ones that are holding sway in the echelon of power in this country. So how do you think the country will run when people are there without value? Look, trace the activities of the PDP to how they are today. Look at all that has gone wrong since APC came to power, especially since after Bola Tinubu came to power. The PDP has remained a party that has been so disorganized among themselves, and there is no end in sight to their problem. What Sheikh Makinde is doing is maybe trying to see how they can repackage or try to create a new cause. But of course, he wants to take control. That is why he was avoiding. That's why they are avoiding Sule Lamido from contesting. Sule Lamido is a very powerful individual that has kept faith with the party. He's one of the people that have kept faith with the PDP. And now, instead of you having such a man, such a man that has all it takes, that has all the conviction to be the leader of the party, you are not choosing your own stooge. Are you interested in the party? Are you really interested in reforming the party? You are not choosing your own stooge. Sule Lamido is a very formidable Nigerian, very formidable party loyalist of PDP. That is the kind of person that the PDP needs at this point to chart a new course. But Sheikh Makinde, because he wants to have control, they now sideline him. So what do you think the crisis will be resolved? So whatever is happening now, it will be a continuum, because the Wike group will not leave, because of course Wike is not interested in the party. I'm sure Wike's plan is to bury the party, not that he's interested in the party, because there's nothing else left for him. He cannot contest presidential election. So right now that he has Sules with the APC under Bola Tinubu, his own is to bury the party. And so when you play into the hands of such a person, what do you expect? He will bury the party. And then the gale of suspension and resuspension and the gale of disaffection within a party will continue. Because right now, even the convention that was held, like you said, conflicting court orders, the convention that was held, INEC didn't attend. So it could be said that convention was not credible. I mean, I don't have any issue, but you see, when you are going for a war, when you are trying to reform, you go with their best candidate, with their best hands. She just a governor of how many years remaining? After 2 years or thereabout, she will be out of. In fact, she will be out of the radar, except to join the APC or join another political party.
But I want to quickly ask you about the legal implications that these conflicting court orders would have for the legitimacy of the PDP's leadership.
It's clear. So long as the courts, yes, there was conflicting court orders. And so INEC, of course, INEC, instead of being an unbiased umpire, choose to obey one of the court orders and does not attend the convention. So that INEC not attend the convention put a question mark on that on the ground of the convention if our laws will be followed to the letter. So INEC staying away, obeying one of the court order against the other. Remember, they are all court of coordinate jurisdiction, state high court, federal high court. They are all court of coordinate jurisdiction. Now, except there is a higher court like the Court of Appeal or Supreme Court that will make a ruling, a pronouncement. The issue is still in limbo, and that's why I said when you are going for such a strategic war, you need your best foot forward. And I think the best man that will have been credible for the PDP at this point is Sule Lamido. I don't have the crystal ball to know the thinking of the politician's mind, because everybody just thinks as if nobody has a strategic thinking any longer. I don't know their thinking, but for whatever reason that Sheikh is bringing himself forward as a new face, a new leader, in order for them to reform the party, then he's already making a mistake by creating more disunity, by sidelining Sule Lamido from contesting. Now, I don't know why politicians don't like contests. I don't understand why they don't like contests. Why is it that there must only be one candidate for every for elective positions? Why don't they like contests? Even if Sule Lamido is interested, allow him to contest and let him lose. Then it's a fair game. So what politicians do in Nigeria is frightening to me, because they are not building institutions, and I fear the APC will go that way, this route, because most parties are built around individuals.
All right.
And when the individuals become powerless, the whole thing will crumble.
Okay.
Look, I just give examples of parties in the UK, in the US. The Labour Party in the UK and the Conservative Party, they've been there for more than over 100 and something years.
Okay.
Their founding fathers are all gone. Today, those who are running those parties are mainly migrants and people who are running those parties.
All right.
What is Nigerian politicians going to live? Let's say 20 years from now. What are the Nigerian politicians of today, current today, going to live as like parties?
Lester, apologies that I had to interrupt you there. We don't have much time, but thank you so much, Public Affairs Analyst Lester Wilcox, for lending your voice to this conversation.
Thank you for having me. It's always my pleasure. God bless Nigeria.
Absolute pleasure. The Nigerian Institute of International Affairs is today hosting the 2025 Trade and Investment Forum with the theme, Reform to Result, Building a Trade-Ready Nigeria in the Emerging Global Order. Organized by the Bashir Adeni Center for International Trade and Investment, the forum has brought together policymakers, economists, and industry leaders to explore how Nigeria can strengthen its competitiveness in a rapidly evolving global economy. Speakers are expected to share insight on structural reforms, emerging investment opportunities, and the role of innovation in positioning Nigeria as a major trade hub. Joining us now from the NIIA Trade and Investment Forum is News Central's Israel Ifarobo with the latest development. Now, Israel, thank you for joining us. What is the latest from the forum so far? What has been the observation on ground?
Good afternoon to you. Yes, indeed, we are live here at the NIIA for this forum that has been themed Reform to Results, Building a Trade-Ready Nigeria in the Emerging Global Order. So there are policymakers here and people from the business world as well, even those from customs. They are all here to look at how Nigeria can leverage, even as a new order is being transitioned into, talking about the economy of each country and how Nigeria can leverage this emerging global order. Well, that's some of the key highlights that have been discussed here today. But let's just quickly speak to one of the speakers who spoke to the session today here on this particular forum. He's the former DG of NASIMA, Dr. John Isemede. Dr. Isemede, thank you for talking to us. This is News Central Television, and speak to us briefly. how important a forum of this magnitude is for Nigeria today.
Thank you very much. We are talking of trade in Nigeria, and trade in Nigeria did not start today. And first and foremost, we have to recognize that trade is different from trading. When you talk of trade, you are talking of import and export, local production, value addition, payments, and all that. Trading in most cases, there are no agreements. It's just the West telling us how much to pay for cocoa, how to carry it, and also setting standards. So look at Nigeria, a country 65 years old, the military 28 years, and the civilian 37 years. And now we are talking of trade. It's not too late to come to the party. Nigeria, how much is our foreign reserve? Look at the population of 230 million people. And the size of the economy now is 250 billion. That shows we have a lot to do, starting from agriculture, value addition to reduce importation, solid minerals, aviation, border posts, and all that. Nigeria has signed more than 700 agreements in the world. Why is the economy still doing? Because of policies. We have policy on waiver. We have policy of pioneer status. We have policy of taxation and all that, which is not supporting production. And as long as we are not producing, there is little or nothing we can engage the world.
So talk to us now. How can Nigeria leverage on this new global order in terms of business and also policy alignment between at the federal, the state, and local government levels as well?
Thank you. There is no CCC in Nigeria. There is no cooperation, there is no communication, there is no central coordination of trade. Where do we start from? Look at the private sector. Are they in line with what the government is doing? Government is traveling, signing an agreement without the private sector who is going to implement. Government is going to sign agreement without ambassador who is going to play the game. We have ambassadors who have no target. We have MDAs who have no target. We have signed the ECOWAS for 50 years. Inter-Africa's trade is 5%. Any hope on after, because we failed in AGOA? So when you now talk of trade now, because the government is looking at 1 billion, it's not by prayer and fasting, it's through hard work. We have to support people, one in the area of production and value addition for us to engage the world so that we can get that 1 billion. Nigeria got independent in 1960, we did not borrow money. The Civil War, we did not borrow money. Smith and Mother and all that. What is it now with the new world order that we are borrowing money? That we are not producing, we are not adding value. That is why Trump is with his tariff and all that, that the whole world is checking. For instance, Nigeria is the #1 producer of yam in the world, 73%. We cannot export 1 tuber. Nigeria was producing 50% of the total palm oil in the world in 1960. Today we are importing. So many bad examples.
Talk to us now. What do you think Nigeria can now do? What will be the best solution to all of these things that you've talked about?
#1 is to go back to Orosai report. We are not saying to retrench people. They are people you can take the parent ministry. So also there are some that could go to research center and the universities. Then it's not a matter of having ambassadors, 48 ministers and MDAs. Give them target. Anybody can occupy any office. When he gets there, give him a target, let him now select those to work with him. Why we are failing is that the private sector has no target, the government workers have no target, the MDAs have no target, the CEOs have no target, and the only group that has target or the multiple MDA is the custom. And where is that target coming from? It's through importation, not even export.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Well, there you go. This is just some of the key highlights that have been spoken about here today at this forum, from policy alignment to how Nigeria can indeed leverage on this new global economic order. Blessings.
All right. Thank you so much, Israel Iferable, for the update on that. Definitely, we look forward to seeing how the summit or forum continues. All right. We go back now to try and speak with Colonel Ibrahim, the retired Nigerian Army officer, to give us more updates. Colonel Ibrahim, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, Colonel, we can hear you.
I can hear me.
Colonel Ibrahim, we can hear you loud and clear.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, Colonel, if you can hear me, I just want to find out what specific measures can be taken to curb the rise in violence by the extremist groups and bandits that are targeting sites and communities. Colonel Ibrahim, if you can hear us. All right, we'll go back again to Colonel Ibrahim as soon as we can. But right now, let's look at the agriculture sector. Stakeholders in the sector are calling for urgent measures to strengthen food security across the continent. At an African Food Summit in Abuja, the stakeholders emphasized that Africa has enough resources and potential to feed itself, thus its need to reshape the world's view of the continent. The meeting also provided a platform for stakeholders to discuss challenges and opportunities available in the sector and also measures to revitalize the agricultural value chain. News Central's Victor Ajayi compiled this report.
One of the key highlights of this summit is the amount Africa spends on food imports annually, which, according to experts, is an estimated $50 billion, despite having 60% of the world's unused arable land. While experts describe this as a worrisome situation, the founder of the African Food Network, Kelvin Eze, says that this contradiction can be attributed to poor and inadequate investment, planning, and institutional support for the farmers who feed the continent.
Africa has the power to feed itself. According to FAO reports, Africa has about 60% of the world unused arable land, yet we spend over $50 billion every year importing food. This is not because we lack talent, it is because we lack proper investment, planning, and support for the people who feed us.
The executive chairman of Niger Foods believes that storage and processing infrastructure is key as Nigeria continues to lose vast amounts of produce due after harvest. He says that a lack of investment in the sector is a major impediment to the growth of the industry, for without increased funding and policy reforms, Nigeria cannot build a sustainable food system capable of feeding its population.
We invest 0.5% of our GDP in agriculture. So so it's like you want your child to be educated, but you don't pay his school fees. So it's a systemic thing that we all need to advocate and appeal to government to change.
The Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Obi Asika, adds that the gap between food waste and hunger can be likened to both a humanitarian issue and a lost economic opportunity.
If you get into the business of food, not only will you never go hungry, you will always be paid because everybody needs to eat. I was speechless when they said 40% of food is lost or something like that. I think 40% in terms of what is produced is wasted. And when you think about the amount of people who don't have food, so you think about that's a big opportunity for advocacy for people who are in those sectors to do something about that waste and bring it to a different purpose.
The summit also highlighted the importance of building stronger intra-African food trade systems, noting that the continent cannot achieve food independence without enabling seamless movement of agricultural goods between countries.
Let's talk business now. Electricity workers across Nigeria are threatening a nationwide shutdown after staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria were allegedly assaulted by the armed police officers in Imo State. Now, according to the National Union of Electricity Employees, the incident occurred at the Egbu 13233 kV transmission substation, where workers were reportedly beaten, held at gunpoint, and some abducted during a forced entry into the control rooms on Monday. The union says equipment was vandalized and operations disrupted as officers tried to compel an illegal outage. NUEE has also ordered its members to halt power operations in Imo State and is demanding the immediate release of abducted staff, full medical care for the injured, and guarantees of safety nationwide. It warns that if authorities fail to act, electricity workers will withdraw services across the state. Let's take a look at stories outside Nigeria now. A bridge collapsed at a cobalt mine in Southeast Democratic Republic of Congo, killing at least 32 wildcat miners. The bridge came down onto a flooded zone at the mine in Lualaba Province, Roy Kaumba Mayonde. 32 bodies had been recovered and more were being searched for. The DRC produces more than 70% of the world supply of cobalt, which is essential for batteries used in electric cars, many laptop computers and mobile phones. More than 200,000 people are estimated to be working in giant illegal cobalt mines in the giant Central African country. Local authorities say the bridge collapsed at the Kalando mine about 42 kilometers southeast of the Lualaba provincial capital, Kolwezi. Now, South Africa has dedicated the month of November to honoring one of its greatest cultural icons as Dr. Esther Malangu, the international acclaimed Ndembele artist, as she celebrates her 90th birthday. Dr. Malangu has spent more than 7 decades sharing her heritage through bold geometric patterns and vivid colors that have graced galleries and brands across the world. In 2018, the University of Johannesburg conferred an honorary doctorate on her, cementing her place among South Africa's cultural giants. News Central's Bongani Siziba tells us more.
South Africa united together to honor a remarkable woman whose life story is woven in resilience, creativity and pride. Dr. Esther Mahlangu's journey is a testament to the power of culture and tradition in shaping identity and inspiring the world.
I'm grateful that God has kept up to this far to also impart the legacy of this artistic work that she has been involved since.
The legendary artist's journey began at the tender age of 10. Taught by her grandmother, she discovered her gift for painting, an art form deeply rooted in the traditions of her people. With her paintings that feature striking geometric lines and vibrant colors that uniquely identify the rich cultural heritage of her community. For decades, Dr. Esther Mahlangu has traveled the world, sharing art and bringing global recognition to her culture. Her paintings have been displayed in numerous museums across the globe, putting Africa on the map.
America, Washington, D.C., New York, California, Charleston, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, South Carolina, New Jersey.
On her 89th birthday, I sat down with her and asked about her incredible journey. This is what she shared with me.
Awa ngikhule ngakho gwala msi ithe ngikhruya ngikhula ngiba mkhulu awa abantu basifundisa abengikwazi till namhlanje singisakwazi natot namhlanje ngisagwala awa irola ngiyisebenzisini I'm work with chicken feathers wona chicken feathers masiba wenkukhu ya ngiwe ngibereka ngawo ngidala ngawo yabona.
From the elders to the youth, her legacy is etched in their hearts. She has shown that tradition and innovation can harmoniously coexist.
I'm so excited, I'm so happy, I'm so proud that people actually recognize Gogo's work and they actually honor her while she's still alive. This is exciting and thank you so much for doing this to her.
And she stuck to her culture, she stuck to the authenticity of her culture, and slowly but surely, in her own love, in her own way, year by year, decade by decade, she started to get acknowledged worldwide.
Ugogo into azokugqugquzela ngayo ukuthi bantwana bami qhubekani ningayilahli into le, qhubekani nifundeni ningalahla nangomuso.
Dr. Esther Mahlangu is not keeping her talent to herself. She's also passing that legacy to the young ones. And even when she's gone, the heritage, the cultural heritage of the Ndebele people will still remain. Happy birthday, Gogo Esther Mahlangu. In Mpumalanga, for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
Quite a beautiful story there. A Bangladesh War Crimes Tribunal has sentenced former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to death in absentia, ruling she was responsible for crimes against humanity during the deadly 2024 student-led uprising. Prosecutors said security forces under her command used helicopters, drones, and live rounds in a crackdown that killed more than 1,000 people. The verdict, broadcast live nationwide, also condemned former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan to death, while the former police chief received 5 years after turning state witness. Hasina, who has lived in exile in India since her ouster in August 2024, has dismissed the charges as politically driven. Her Awami League party called the ruling a kangaroo verdict aimed at eliminating opposition ahead of upcoming elections.
We have decided to inflict her with only one sentence, that is sentence of death. It is hereby ordered that accused Sheikh Hasina be found guilty on 3 counts under charge 1. Count number 1, incitement. Count number 2, order to kill. Count number 3, inaction to prevent the atrocities and failing to take punitive actions against the perpetrators.
Coming to an end. And come next year, for those who don't know, Nigeria's tax landscape is about to change drastically. And whether we like it or not, everyone needs to brace up for it. But contrary to popular belief, these reforms might actually help a lot of Nigerians, especially the ones who've been carrying the nation's economic burden without ever seeing anything in return. And what's coming in 2026 is not just another government policy. It's a full reset of how Nigeria earns, spends, and accounts for money. And the goal is to make the tax system fairer, simpler, and more transparent. So first, let's talk about what's changing. The government has introduced a whole new set of tax laws that will kick in fully next year. The most important change is that people earning up to 800,000 naira a year will no longer pay personal income tax. And that means many low-income earners, from junior staff to entry-level workers, automatically get a bit of breathing space. And for the first time in years, Nigeria will be running a progressive tax system where the tax rate rises according to how much you earn. Higher earners will pay more and lower earners will pay less. It's a shift designed to reduce pressure on the average Nigerian while making sure that the people at the top actually contribute their fair share. Now, here's where Nigerians need to brace up. These reforms only work for you if you position yourself correctly. Now, if you're an individual, you need to understand which tax bracket you fall into and what exemptions apply to you. You cannot wait until January before figuring this out. If you are a business owner, this is the time to register your business properly. And for many, that means moving from a business name to a proper limited liability company. Because from 2026, the system will be more digital, more compliance-driven, and much more tighter. So if you want access to loans or access to grants or tax relief and government programs, you must be properly registered, you must be properly documented, and you must be visible to the system. And that's your postscript.